Hello, hello, boyos and girlos. This is Kirby over yonder, and I just want to say in advance that this video is completely unedited. So if I stutter or say or whatever, um, I'm sorry, but I'm not really editing this video. And also apologies if there are any background noises like cars or other people. I live in a kind of loud neighborhood sometimes, um, so uh, I can't really control that. But anyways, I wanted to talk about Adventure Time um, because it's ending soon and it's a show that is very, very important to me. Um, because I've grown up with Adventure Time. It was I was 8 when the show first aired. Um, though I didn't start watching it until I was like 9 or 10. Um, because at first I thought the show was honestly pretty dumb. Obviously there were the the ads with the kid who was dressed like Finn screaming, "What time is it?" You are a true Adventure Time fan if you remember those ads. Um, but I also just thought the show looked really weird and dumb, and I didn't like it. Though I did watch regular show, so I don't know. I mean, usually with Adventure Time and regular show, it's like if you like one, you'll probably like the other. So I don't really get why I liked regular show but didn't like Adventure Time. I don't know. Um, but it was actually my older cousin. No, he's not older. He's about my age. He's like a year older. It was my cousin, who made me start watching Adventure Time. Um, and it's funny because I don't think he was like a huge Adventure Time fan. I think he just casually liked it. But once he showed it to me, um, he he doesn't, at least as far as I know, he doesn't really watch the show anymore. And I've become obsessed with the show. So like, I don't know. I just think that's kind of funny. Um, but yeah, the first episode I watched was the season 3 episode, uh, Tart Toter. I think that's the name of it. The one with the tarts. Um, and yeah, and I really liked that one. So I just kind of kept watching Adventure Time, and yeah, I've been a huge fan of the show ever since. Um, when I was about 10 to 12, I would say. Um, I drew a bunch of fan art and I had a bunch of the merchandise. And I still do. Like I have a bunch of posters and um, sometimes I'll draw some art of the characters. I'm not a good artist, but Adventure Time characters are very easy to draw. So I've never really had a problem drawing the characters in Adventure Time. Adventure Time is like the only show I can make a good, not good, but okay fan art of. I don't know, debatably good. Um, so yeah, it's had a very big impact on my life, um, because it's one of those shows that does help me get through hard times. Because even though it is very weird and very ridiculous and nonsensical, I think the characters in Adventure Time, when you really you know dig deep into them, are very human and very relatable to everyone. Um, like with Finn, we see Finn grow up. Like he's at the start of the series, he's 12, and by the end, he's 17. Um, so I pretty much grew up with Finn, so that's really interesting. Um, and you got um, Adventure Time really dealt with a lot of very mature themes, like death and guilt and abandonment and dictatorship and loss and mental diseases and parent issues and relationships. Adventure Time was very good at handling relationships. Um, and what else? Oh my gosh, there's a lot. Like the show takes place pretty much after an apocalypse. Um, and I've always liked how the show it manages to it's still fun. Like even though it has all these mature themes, it's still a fun show. It's never really, besides maybe a few episodes, it never really gets too deep or is like to the point where it's not fun. Um, and that's what I really love about Adventure Time. And I'm really gonna miss the show, man. I love the show so much. Um, in terms of like seasons 5 and 6, which is where a lot of people stopped watching the show, um, I never really considered them bad seasons. I do think that they are probably the two weakest seasons of the show. They still do have their good episodes. I still kept watching. I think after season 6, I I was going to stop watching the show, but like I couldn't. I couldn't stop watching Adventure Time, and thankfully season 7 got a lot better. Um, yeah. I know a lot of people dropped off with season 6, and it's understandable. The I didn't quite like the direction season 6 went in. Um, it didn't feel very Adventure Timey to me. Um, there still were some great episodes, like The Tower is a great episode. The first two episodes are really good. The season finale is really good. What else? The Germain episode is really good. There's some good episodes in season 6. Um, but um, yeah, the direction of the show was just I don't know. I didn't really get it. And of course, there was Water Park Prank in that season, which is the worst episode of the entire show and is a terrible, terrible episode. But we don't talk about that one. Get that one out of here. um, um, yeah. But the show did get better. If you stopped watching Adventure Time during seasons 5 or 6, then sorry, sorry if you can hear my dog. But anyways, if you stopped watching Adventure Time at around that time, then I do recommend getting back into the show because the show does get really good again. Especially with a lot of the miniseries, like Stakes is really good. Islands is really really emotional and really really good, and Elements is awesome. Um, you know, all great stuff. Great show. Oh jeez, what? I probably have a ton more to say. Like I said, I grew up with the show pretty much. It's pretty much been around for my not in my entire life, but I mean, basically my entire life. It's been around since I was 8. Um, so basically my entire life, you know. Um, so it's gonna be so weird living in a world without Adventure Time, like that. Like one day, just a few days ago, maybe a week. Um, I was sitting, I was sitting and I was thinking, and then it just like kind of dawned on me. Very, very soon, we are going to be living in a world where Adventure Time isn't airing. Like, isn't that weird? That's so weird. I don't know. You just you know the day is going to come, but you never wanted to. Um, and I don't think I'd like for the show to go on forever. and become worse. Obviously, I'd much rather it just go out with dignity, but it's gonna be just uh um yeah, man, Adventure Time. um the, yeah, like I said, I grew up with the show, and um the interesting thing about Adventure Time is that um as I grew up and matured, the show kind of matured with me. Um, it started out very fun and silly, but as the show went on, it got much more deep and um, much more you know, a lot more about the story and not necessarily about just about these silly adventures. Um, and I really like it when a show um can become more mature and change, and I'm sure a lot of it is because since Adventure Time is so popular, or it was at least so popular, Cartoon Network allowed the show to get away with more. Um to the point where now it's basically an adult cartoon. Like it's kind of hard to deny it. Adventure Time at this point is an adult cartoon, and not an adult cartoon like Family Guy, but where it just has adult jokes and says swear words and mentions sex, but actually adult. And um it's really really you really got to give props to the writers of Adventure Time for um making a better adult cartoon out of a Cartoon Network show than most actual adult cartoons. Um Again, sorry if you hear my dog. Um I'm I said it 1,000 times, but I'm really really gonna miss the show. Um just so much of Adventure Time has impacted me, and I'm sure there are 1,000 other things I could talk about with Adventure Time, but I don't want this going on too long. So, yeah, I'm very excited for the finale. I really hope that, I'm pretty sure it will deliver, and yeah, man, oh man, Adventure Time. Anyways, though, uh, tell me your guys' experience with Adventure Time, or you know, just kind of, I don't know, and just say something about Adventure Time. That's it. Um, yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one, and Kirby out.